Welcome to the Stellar Show, Fayette County TV, Channel 77, with myself, Ken Philbaum, Victor Bullock, store owner, Stellar Collectibles in the Uniontown Mall. We've had a little bit of a break. Work with us, folks. And don't let me forget the Duke. I'd like to thank, welcome Mike Kelly Automotive to the Stellar Show family. It's about trust. With a wide range of vehicles and personalized service, we make your car buying experience easy and enjoyable. Come see why generations have chosen us for their automotive needs.
It's a wonderful thing to have a sponsorship, and I also want to thank Mike Kelly and all the guys down there. Some of you have been customers here in the store. Look forward to having you here. Maybe we'll bring you in once in a while to get your opinion on the Steelers. Thanks again to Mike Kelly. One of the things I want to do today, this is a great day for the Molick family, for Stellar Collectibles and the kingdom itself, is one of the great people of all time.
82 young.
It's my dad's birthday, and
happy birthday, sir.
Happy birthday, Dad. Congratulations to my mom for nagging him enough and keeping him alive for 82 birthdays. Good job, Pat.
Halftime, right?
Yeah, halftime. And the one thing you're going to see right now is a picture that he sent me yesterday of the new Toyota he bought. Now, I'm not sure because we haven't really gotten into it because he won't shut up about how much he loves Toyotas. That's what the Molick family creed is: Toyota first, Honda second, don't buy anything else. My dad is historically known for taking a 1992 Toyota and running it over 500,000 miles. We were going to junk the Toyota. Someone in Texas actually bought the thing, put it on a train, and is still driving the motor of that truck. Toyotas they'll run forever.
Wow.
So, and I also had a Camry that ran to 315,000 miles. You can't beat them. Toyota is a solid motor that if you just change the oil, they'll run forever. So the Molick family, happy birthday, Dad, endorses Mike Kelly and Toyota.
Wow, I don't know how to follow that, but I'm going to try.
You really can't.
No. You know what, to pick up on where we left off last week, or whenever we filmed this, it's all chaos here. But there was an important stat that both of us missed as far as the collapse of the Pirates for the 2024 season. The Pirates have lost 25 plus and counting games by one run.
By one run.
By one run. You split that in half, and they're near the top of the division, and they're also leading the wild card race. So that's where I stand by it. I think it's time to move on, and I hope that's something that the Pirates seriously consider in the offseason, because I personally like the talent. I just don't think it's being managed properly. Go ahead.
Right now, you're looking down the barrel of another top 10 draft pick. I love the pitching staff. As long as you don't tinker with the pitching staff. What happened to the bullpen this year? It'll probably come out during the winter. We'll find out that there was a problem in there somewhere. There normally always is.
I'm going to chime. Okay, sorry.
That bullpen was top notch the first half of the season. Something changed, coaching philosophy, something somewhere we will find out about.
And I can fill in those blanks.
Go ahead.
You are right, coaching philosophy. He's relied on the bullpen game as part of his rotation.
Most disgusting thing in the world.
So he's burned out those bullpen arms, and it's obvious what's going on around baseball. If you're playing the Pirates, make sure Skeens is at 100 pitches by the fifth inning, or Keller, whoever, and you got him.
You guys saw me, not to interject, but you saw me throw in the outfield. I am 56. It is a mess. Yeah. But the thing that you have to do, Pittsburgh, please, I love Paul Skeens. I love the way he pitches. Stop wasting so many pitches. When you watch a Tawny and guys like that start, they don't throw waste pitches. And when you have that 103-mile-an-hour fastball, these guys can't catch up to it. Strike them out and get over with it. Don't waste that arm. Don't do that to Jarrett Jones either. Charlie Morton.
Or Chandler next year. I mean, you're going to have Chandler part of this rotation. You're going to have 1 through 4, possibly the best rotation in baseball, and it's going to be wasted because you get a guy that doesn't know how to mix. But I want to get your take on this before we close up the opening segment. You mentioned Skeens. So it's rumored that this Sunday, which would be, September 15th, work with us on the schedule here. So that's possibly going to be Skeens' last start. There's room for the season. There's rumors that they're going to shut him down for the season. What are your thoughts?
Again, you're looking at a high draft pick. If you're the Pirates, please draft college players. We're making a run right now with this pitching staff. This is in the same vein as the Steelers right now. You're getting to the tail end where you're wasting Watt and Hayward. Don't waste Skeens, Jones, Keller, and Bubba Chandler. Please don't do this. Draft a guy that's ready-made to play.
I was setting you up.
So it doesn't matter what Skeens does the rest of the year.
I was setting you up for some Nolan Ryan.
The 236 pitches in a a game and didn't need a 5th day.
Or, hey, if I hear you're doing a pitch count, you're fired.
Sabermetrics, man. Downfall of baseball. That and ghost runners. Don't even start me on that. I'll walk away.
I'll give them this, though. The pitch clock has made it somewhat better to watch, at least on TV. But anything to add before we close this segment up?
High fastballs, boys. High fastballs.
All right. We'll close it on that. Welcome back to the Stellar Show, Fayette County TV, Channel 77, Breezeline Q Call with myself, Ken Philbaum, the Duke, Stellar's Collectible Shop, and Uniontown Mall owner Victor Mullick. And once again, Mike Kelly, Toyota of Uniontown. Get over there and see what he's got for sale. And welcome to the family. All right, so we're going to jump into your friend Caden's favorite segment.
Well, you're ready to open that up right now. Rick is enjoying food from World Importing. They delivered us food for the show today. Fantastic
Thank you, sir.
job. Yeah, and I think that's why Duke's a little bit calmer than right now.
He's fixated on what Rick's that
pepperoni
holding back there. But
you didn't.
Oh, yes, I did. So the New Kids on the Block.
They actually made cards of New Kids on the Block.
I saw this at the flea market, and I picked up some other good ones. At the Glass Festival, September 29th at noon, Victor, myself, the Duke, and Rick will be there. We will be filming. We'll be followed by Scott Lacey of the Clarks, and then also Pendulum to close it out before a fireworks show. So get up there, bring a lawn chair, and hang out all day. And I know the super fans threatening to expose himself to the show. Possibly literally and figuratively, so I'll make sure to give the police chief a heads up on that. And also, there are solicitation laws in our borough, so don't be hitting people up for free funnel cakes.
I'm on a diet.
Okay. So.
There is a point to be made right here before he opens this, what I call blasphemy, because when I grew up, NSYNC was the real group. A friend of mine calls New Kids on the Block the songbirds of his generation. I'm not a fan of New Kids on the Block. I'm going with Timberlake and J.C. Chavez and all those guys.
These guys are older than Backstreet Boys.
Well, I'm old too.
I get that. Yeah, anyway.
But the songbirds of a generation, New Kids on the Block, that's that Donnie Wahlberg crap, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's the other guys in this group? Come on now, you know it.
Joe?
There you go.
I assume. Who do we got here?
You know these guys.
I wish I did. I'd be a lot cooler if I did. I just remember Marky Mark. No, that's his brother. See, I didn't even get that right.
These cheapskates didn't even give you gum.
No, you got a sticker. That was our friend Joe here.
Oh, okay. So,
Caden, enjoy.
Which two New Kids on the Block were born in the same month and share the same birth sign?
I have no clue, but I bet you do.
Donnie Wahlberg and somebody else.
Hey, you know what? Real quick, we have some fun. Another bonus for Caden. I splurged on one of these Score Halloween deals.
Oh, the new stuff?
Yeah. I've been curious. Unless there's like a Caleb Williams, it's rare. These are Drake May. You know what? I might be holding on to Drake May, but the rest are yours.
Bijan.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have the Halloween insignias around them, so at least they're logoed, so that's a good thing and a step in the right direction.
So
we're still waiting to figure out who will be autographing cards this year with the Fanatics and the Panini thing still probably hanging over. Yeah, so right now, be careful until we find out exactly whose autographs you're chasing this year. So, that is a problem.
It really
was a problem, huge problem
especially
last
when you
year.
got guys like Marvin Harrison Jr. might be starting a trend with what he's up to, but Google that one.
Starting a trend how, sir?
I don't know. It's
the
just,
showrunner Adam, he's not real happy with him right now.
Yeah, one reception for 4 yards.
Yeah, second round draft pick, I think, in the fantasy league. But on to happier topics.
I don't remember what round I took him in.
You did?
I got him in one of my leagues. But thank God Saquon Barkley reminded everybody that it wasn't him that was the problem in New York. We are. So real quick, mail didn't show up in time. It's in my mailbox. I had scored a Terry Bradshaw PSA 1 rookie for under $50. Just wanted to put the word out there, and I know this is something.
Is there a bullet hole in it?
I wish.
Okay.
That'd be a lot cooler if it was, but no, it's got a crease.
Okay.
I believe so. I'll get that picture to Rick, and he'll splice that in. But right now, with the way the market is, I know this is something that vintage stuff like that, it's dropping in value, but it always bounces back.
Yeah.
These people that are chasing these one-of-ones of Mike Trouts that I seem to get, that I always get clicks on, like, there's like 2,000 variations. It's not really a one-of-one. So if you want to elaborate on
this
that.
is the period of time where if ever there's a cartoon that makes sense and was prophetic, it's Lucy with the football with Charlie Brown. Every year right now, everyone is buying Leaf products with autographs in them. A guy walked in a couple days ago with, look, I got a Skeens 101. Well, Skeens hasn't been put in Topps cards yet. So everything is going to be Leaf products, and the autograph today is a 101. There's probably 35 variations of it. It's going to be $300 to $400 today. Flip it right now, because once the top stuff comes out, that's the market.
Yeah, it really is. Like this.
And the card companies pull that football, and you get stuck with cards that are really hard to sell long term.
So I mentioned Terry Bradshaw. By the way, Terrell Edmonds is back in Pittsburgh. Might be a practice squad, guys. So stop up here and try on an active Steelers helmet instead of that Devin Bush one that I've been leaving around.
Yeah, and thanks to you for bringing those up here. At some point, the store is going to purchase one, but as long as you're nice enough to leave these kids, the young ones, enjoy putting on this helmet.
There's a shot, Brad. Yeah. Right? Mm-hmm. So, but we mentioned Steeler quarterbacks. Terry Bradshaw, he's you could argue him or Ben is the greatest of all time. We just got over that debacle that was the Kenny Pickett nonsense, so we'll just leave it at that. And so Duke's being taunted off camera with some pepperoni. But so Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, where are you at, sir?
After watching the game on Sunday, and all you guys, if the Steelers have a 1 o'clock game, you can stop in. We had a watch party here. It was a lot of fun. Watching that game and seeing Justin Fields play, I realize Russell Wilson has a great resume. He's won Super Bowls, but Justin Fields is exactly what the Steelers have been looking for. Long term, I see he even makes Najee's slow developing running plays. It makes more sense there. That this is going to be tough for Jaylen Warren to be a part of this offense, because you're going to see a lot of rollouts from Fields. And Justin Fields, I think at the price, is going to be the Steelers quarterback for the next 4 years.
Oh yeah, well,
Did you see a problem with the wide receiving core?
No, I thought Pickens.
Pickens is great.
Austin finally showed something, which is, I mean, I know that's been one of those things. This guy's going to be, he's finally starting to show it, but it wasn't showing he was injured that first year. He didn't show me much last year, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far, because they do need a second receiver to step up, which we said all through camp, and it looks like that might be Calvin Austin, since we didn't get Juju back, which what he signed with the Chiefs.
Shame.
Yeah, that would have been nice. He would have been a good fit for this team right now. But look, me personally, you can't go wrong with either Wilson or Fields. In the offseason, I wanted one or the other. I didn't think it was good getting two, because when you got two, you got zero. But the Steelers found a way for that to not be the case. That's
the old Chuck Noll philosophy. If you have two quarterbacks, you don't have one. But the way Fields handled the offense, and it pains me to say this, there's an argument to be made both ways. But what I saw when you went for it on 4th and 1, up 5 with 5 minutes left in the game. It blew up in your face, but that's a team that's trying to win games.
Absolutely.
And I'm all for that right now. That's uncharacteristic of a Mike Tomlin team. He does make mistakes as a coach. I'm no one to tell him how to coach, but I really enjoy the fact that they were trying to end that game right there.
Yeah,
that's a sign of a team that knows it's good.
It knows its place. They're going for the win, and we're on to the next one.
Yeah.
But so the Steelers are preparing for Denver. It looks like Fields is starting. Now, you lived in, is it me, or does it seem like the Steelers always have a problem in Denver? You've lived there at one point, correct? Or out that
I was in the Air Force back in the mid-90s. That's the story I'm going to tell you.
Thank you.
At that time, I wasn't a fat old man who ate cheese fries and all of that. I listened to the song last time. But ergometry test for the Air Force, I was in the top 2%, blah, blah, blah. Went from there, stopped here, and then was in Colorado in 10 days. Couldn't run to second base for the first 3 days I was there. You're just gassed. The air is thinner and it's hard to produce. I think that's what you're trying to ask me right there.
Yeah. Is that something you can adjust to if you stay
in time? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
After about a week, week and a half, 2 weeks, it's easy. The thing that always amazed me about that is you play ball up there, you come back down to sea level, it doesn't make you any faster. It just robs you for the first initial times you're there.
So it just smacks you in the face. You should almost get out there a few days early to adjust.
Yeah,
so,
to be honest with you.
Where are you at with the Steelers-Denver? Who are you taking?
This game to me is just going to be a slaughter. I think Fields does exactly what he did. Denver's offense with Bo Nix, I think TJ Watt probably has 3 sacks that he deserved last week. Yeah, I think the Steelers defense is a championship caliber defense, and that's going back to what we were talking about Justin Fields. He just needs to manage these games. With that defense, I remember my first card show, I had a chance to talk to Bryant McFadden. He was doing autographs at my first show. I asked him about this very fact, and what he said was Tomlin back in, was it 17 or 18? Forgive me if I don't remember the year. He said the defense was so good, all he asked of the defense was for them to keep the other team from 17 points, and the Steelers would win the game. I believe that's the year they lost to Jacksonville. I think Tomlin is doing that with this current defense right now, or the offense. Don't lose me the game, let the defense win the game.
But they somehow gave up like 42 points or 45 to the Jaguars.
That's why I think they're signing this. They sign guys like this. This is just depth, and that's something Omar Khan has really brought to the Steelers is depth. So they're looking at making a run right now.
So we got the big Pitt West Virginia
What do you think
game.
on the Steeler game? We'll make official picks.
I'll take the Steelers.
Minus 2.5.
Yeah, they'll cover that.
Over under 36.5, which is really low.
I think they cover that.
Over, and the Steelers, I'm going the same. Actually, I'm going under.
1-800 gambling.
Yeah. Steelers minus the 2.5 and take the under out there. I don't think Denver scores.
I want to. Sorry, go ahead. One more, then we got to get to the fun one.
Okay, you want to do Cleveland, Jacksonville?
Oh, I just want to shoot right for the jugular. Let's go Pitt, West Virginia.
West Virginia's minus 2 at Pitt. 64.5 is the over under. I believe West Virginia's ranked somewhere around 30, and Pitt is probably 40.
I hate to be that guy and my West Virginia friends. I love you. You're the fun cousin. That's what I always look at you guys as. But I got to take Pitt.
You're taking Pitt?
I think Pitt beats them by 10.
Pitt beats West Virginia by 10.
I want to be wrong, and I will eat it if I'm wrong. But if I have to pick, I'm taking Pitt by 10.
I'm taking the under in that game. Under 64.5. If I have to choose between the two, I would lay the 2 with West Virginia.
Okay, so who are you picking to win?
No, West Virginia minus the 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where I'm going. This is a really bad week. We hope to, in the future, have some better games to pick from, because no one cares about Kansas State, Arizona, Alabama, Wisconsin. That could be a potential upset or a close game.
But I'll tell you what I see with that Bama-Wisconsin game.
It's at Camp Randall.
What I'm looking at is that could be a game that could swing a potential playoff seeding or spot down the road between the SEC and Big Ten.
Bama's laying 16.5, and the over/under in that game's 49.
Yeah,
so
that's where that game could rock the boat. But you have Cleveland, Jacksonville here. If I have to pick, I'm taking Jacksonville to cover, and I'll say the over covers too.
The Cleveland-Jacksonville game, who cares who wins that game? That's the easiest under in all of betting. 41.5. Neither team has the ability to score right now.
Kansas City and the Bengals.
Kansas City and the Bengals. The over on that's low. It's at 48.
I need Kelsey to show up. I drafted him in like the 4th round, and that blew up in my face.
4th round. He was a number 1 pick here last year.
I know.
The number 1 pick, believe it or not. KC minus 5.5. I pointed this out during the games we were watching up here when the Bengals were on. It seems like they lose one of the first 3 every season, and they completely laid down. I look for the Bengals to bounce back and at least cover. This game should be within a field goal.
I'll point out the obvious. Kansas City is going to get the calls. I'll take the Chiefs.
Okay, last one is the Raiders in Baltimore, 8.5. And 41.5.
I think Jackson and Henry run all over the Raiders.
I'm looking for more of an upset in this game, not the Raiders to win, but to cover. And again, I like under on that game.
All right. Well, anything else to add before we close this segment up?
Better games are to come in college football. We'll have more fun with this as it continues.
Looking forward to Penn State being back after the bye week. We'll see you after this.
They don't wakes up his dreams is on the line. A pirate cap on, he thinks he'll be fine. Past his pride, but his heart's still in the game. Running round the base, he's still chasing that fame. Oh, Victor, swinging for the fences, hoping for a chance, breaking down defenses. If he could lose weight, oh what a sight. A pirate in the night, ready to ignite.
Welcome back to the Stellar Show. This is Victor Molick, Ken Philibom, the Duke. We're here live at Pittsburgh Stellar Collectibles inside the Uniontown Mall. This show is now sponsored by Mike Kelly Toyota of Uniontown. We're glad to have you as a part of this show. Look to have a lot of fun with you guys and maybe have you guys make some picks at some time in the future. So
can't be any worse than the ones I just made.
Well, the one thing I didn't really mention as I put my feet up here, and this could be a thing that you had something to do with last year. You know, after week 1 in the Fantasy Football League, Pig, the Polish intelligence group, has a 50-point lead on all other 11.
Yeah, you know what?
50-point lead. Never has this ever happened before. It was hard to hold that in last segment, but how'd you do?
I won both my games, which is a shocker. And you know what? I'll give away an old strategy of mine. I would always tank week 1.
Oh, you're the Cincinnati Bengals is what you're trying to tell me.
Oh, hear me out. And I don't mind giving this one up because I'm dead serious. If I never do fantasy football again, it's not a bad thing. I'm just, and I've said it, I hate being at a Steeler game and having to pull for Derrick Henry. Or whoever they might be playing.
That's a lot of mental gymnastics
it really
at that
is,
point.
But you know what? After you shout out all that money for a ticket, you know, you want to enjoy it. It kind of takes the romance out of it. But anyway, that said, so a good strategy of mine back. I gave this strategy up a few years ago.
Lose the first week?
I always wanted to come out of week 1 in last place.
False sense of security. That's what you're doing.
Hear me out. There's always some running back or receiver that nobody had on their radar that comes out of nowhere, puts up 20 or 30 points that no one drafted and no one signed, and then when you're in last place, you got first pick on the waivers.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is amazing that you said this because I have come across a fantasy football strategy of my own by absolute accident. So what you do is you draft someone who is on the IR just in case this situation happens. Because on Monday night, Christian McCaffrey decides he's not going to play. I would not have been able to make the maneuver to pick up, what's his name, the running back from the 49ers?
I was in and out of that game, so
he had 157 yards and a touchdown.
The thing was, because I came out the gate hot, I was nowhere near like top 10 in waivers in either league. So
I think it's Jordan Mason, I believe is his name, and that's the pick you're talking about.
Yeah.
But if you're in that situation, you can cut the guy from the IL to use that spot to pick up a player.
No, and it's there was the running back for the Redskins about 10 years ago, Davis.
Well, Arian Foster's probably the biggest one of them
that's
of all time.
A good example.
But what does that say about the scouting departments of certain teams that you let a guy like that sit on practice squads for 2 years?
Well, I'll deep dive that in the further.
How many teams need a running back now that guy would be the best they have?
How about all these pay sites that people subscribe to that tell you to get this person or that person, and this guy comes in under the radar? Yeah. If you're paying money, they should have given you that. Like I said, I'll admit, like I said, that formula has worked in the past, but it's always someone you didn't know, or maybe you forgot Brock Purdy a few years back.
Because when you stink week 1, you are correct. You do get a higher priority on the waiver wire for the following week.
I'll give another fun one away, and I almost did this last week to my buddy Brandon, and I've did it to him in the past. Going into like Thursday night, he didn't have a kicker, or maybe it was Sunday. I was going to cut and drop every kicker so that he couldn't have been able to pick one up on waivers.
That's
Bush League.
Yeah, very much so. But
look who you're talking to.
Yeah, that is true. So now we haven't discussed our mutual favorite team.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so what happened with Bowling Green?
Well, I'm glad. You know what? So I missed the first half because I was announcing for the junior football, and my Wi-Fi was horrible. So what I saw was at halftime, my Wi-Fi kicked in, and I was able to watch Penn State Bowling Green. So what I saw was good. So I haven't had a chance to watch the first half. Did you watch, and what did you see?
I was here the whole day. That's another time.
Hungover? What? maybe
No, actually, to be honest with you,
Fortnite too late?
We watched the Notre Dame game right afterwards, and there are some smaller schools that have good teams. Bowling Green is a good team.
Won.
You made fun of the pay sites. One of the pay sites was predicting that Bowling Green was going to do well in that game. So when I watched that, you kind of had that in the back of your mind that this was going to be a little bit more of a struggle. And if you don't come prepared to win, that's why I'm impressed with what Tomlin did, trying to go for it on 4th and 1 on the 25-yard line.
I'm always there. Go for the jugular.
With college football this year, there's a restructuring of how you play these games, because what matters now isn't your ranking at the end of the year. It's, do you make the playoffs or not?
I'll throw this out there, too. I think another thing that happened with a situation like Penn State Bowling Green, that was Bowling Green's Super Bowl.
Absolutely, it was.
So, so anytime Penn State,
Northern Illinois Super Bowl was
and
Notre Dame.
They won their Super Bowl. Yeah. That was a good game. I caught the end of that. So that was a trap game, and I know whatever the spread was, they were nowhere near close to it. So. But anything to add on that?
You came out of the game with no injuries, allegedly, I think.
I'm 99%. Lost a tight end for the year. For half the year, at least 4 weeks.
Okay, so you still made it. You got through a trap game. And what, Liberty this week?
No, they're on a bye this week, and then Kent State at home the following week. If might have an extra ticket or two if there's any interest.
White out.
We'll talk. All right, and we'll see you next week. Rise Wrestling is next.